Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, welcome to my channel for the first time. In today's video, I'm going to be going through and basically giving a recap of 2020. I am going to still be doing my 1 second of video every single day on December 31st this year, or maybe January 1st of next year. It depends on what I get on the 31st for my 1 second. But I also wanted to do more like a narrative to go over everything that's happened this year, because I feel like 2020 is the first year that I've lived through that I've been like, wow, this is really going to be in the history books. Yes, I was alive for 9/11, but this like 2020 is like a whole year that I'm like an adult and I'm like remembering it and living through it and like dealing with the consequences of everything that's happened this year. And I want to be able to have something to like, I don't want to say like contribute to history, because I know like whatever I put out on YouTube is not going to be like in history books or anything like that, but something to like document what happened this year for David and I, and to like show our future kids, because you know they're going to learn about it when they're in high school. And I just think it'll be cool to have something for them to look back and be like, okay, well that's what my family did that year. Like that year wasn't all bad. Like these are some positive things that also happened that year. 2020 was not the worst year of my life. 2018 was by far the worst year of my life. But like I just feel like everyone, the whole world has been like 2020 sucks. And I mean, I don't disagree, but there were a lot of good things that happened this year too, and I want to like remember that. We started 2020 off super strong. 4 days into the new year, David and I got married. What I didn't realize at the time was that looking back on that is so bittersweet, because that was truly like one of the last times we got to celebrate with all of our friends, all of our family. We totally took advantage of the fact that like I didn't even know it was something we could take advantage of at the time, but we didn't have to wear masks. We didn't have to worry about hugging our friends and our family. We didn't have to worry about people coming in from out of town or sitting together or, you know, anything like that. We could all just like get together and have fun. We got to go out to a casino afterwards, and there was like a dance club there, and we had an after party, and we were with a bunch of strangers, and everyone was crowded on the dance floor. And like at the time, like that was normal. Like I had no idea the rest of the year we would not be able to do that again. That would be considered like a luxury of fun that like we don't get to experience anymore. You know, hopefully that changes back in 2021, but for now I was like, wow, we started the year so strong, because like that was so much fun and we had no idea at the time to appreciate it. A couple days after my wedding, I chopped all of my hair off, and obviously I've done it again since, so we got 2 haircuts this year, which I don't ever really do. A few weeks later, we also took a trip down to Louisiana. This was very like sporadic and random and completely unplanned. I had no idea. Like we had been talking before this, like, okay, we're gonna run 5 half marathons this year, we're gonna travel a lot, it's gonna be awesome. You know, those were our plans for 2020, was to travel and run half marathons. We have a goal of running one in each of the 50 states. So we started in January and we were like, let's just get one out of the way, like it's nothing special. Turns out it was special. Louisiana, that was our only state we got to run this year. We drove all the way down there with my dad and had a great time. We thought we'd be able to do it a bunch more times, but we didn't. So I'm glad we did it in January and got at least one this year. And then shortly after we got back from that, instead of having to quarantine after traveling, we got to hop on a plane. We didn't have to wear masks or anything, and we flew over to Europe. We visited London and Paris for our honeymoon. This was a super special trip because my like portion of it was completely free because of YouTube, and like a chunk of David's was free, so it was like awesome to be able to go to like London and Paris to see everything and having it be like almost completely free. And it was just like such an incredible trip, and I'm so thankful that we got to get 2 countries out of the way in January, because that's when like we were over there. And I remember like a lot of people were like trapped in the airport and wearing masks, and at the time wearing masks you were like, what the heck are those people doing? But then it started to come out in the news like, oh no, the coronavirus, it started in, you know, China, and people can't get in or out, and the borders are closed and everyone's trapped in the airports. Well, yeah, people were trapped in the airports when we were coming and leaving from London and Paris. And so like I was like, okay, well this is China's problem, the world won't have to deal with it. the world is dealing with it still. So it's just interesting that we got like such a unique introduction to that. But I am glad that we got to travel around and like visit another country and get some things, or two other countries, and get some things checked off of our bucket list, because we got to spend a lot of time at home for the rest of the year. After getting back from London and Paris, we got to spend some time loving on Finn. We had missed him so much. And then a little while later, I got to travel down to Orlando to visit my aunt. I try to do this, well, I used to try to do this every couple of months, but I only got to go once this year to Florida. And so at the beginning of March, I believe, we went down and we went and drove to the beach and like had a good time. And I like that because, you know, as soon as I got home from Florida, that's when the world kind of shut down. We spent a ton of time at home. We got to love on Finn a ton. I was looking back, I started editing my like 1 second video a day already. And the first half of the year is basically just videos of Finn every day because he was my buddy. We hung out all the time. David was lucky enough that he got to keep his job and work. My business shut down for a few months and I like just hung out at home. I did a lot of YouTube. I started exercising a lot. I just kept myself entertained, you know. Puzzles were a huge thing this year. I also started cooking a little bit. It wasn't anything big, but just, you know, keeping myself busy at home. I also have a list here of stuff I want to talk about, and two things I didn't bring up for January were that I got a tattoo in honor of my mom when I was in London, and then we also took Finn to his first hockey game where the stadium was full of like people and dogs, and like again didn't know how much I appreciate that, but he loved it and it was like so much fun. After we started quarantine and like staying home so much, interest rates on houses like just dropped so like low, and we were like, let's refinance our house. I know we literally just bought it, but let's refinance. We could get a much better rate. And so we called our mortgage person and we were like, yeah, we want to refinance our house. And he was like, well, I can get you a better deal if you just buy a new house and start a new loan. And we were like, let's look at houses. So while we were quarantining, we started packing up our house and getting ready to list it for sale. We started dabbling and looking at houses here and there. We were going to move to a different area. We weren't sure what we wanted to do. We were going to sell, we weren't going to sell. We listed our house, and then within a couple of hours it was pending. We had an offer. We didn't have to go through a realtor. It was just through a friend, and everything worked out like so great. While we were in the middle of buying and selling, we lived with my dad, and while we were living there, my best friend got married to the love of her life. It was a COVID style wedding and we all had masks on, but I had no idea like what an honor it would be to be a bridesmaid in the wedding of like my best friend. I had no idea, like I work weddings all the time and I had no idea like what an honor it was to be like asked to be a bridesmaid. So I'm so glad I got that perspective. I'm so glad I got to like be there for her and support her even with like all the craziness going on. We also got to take a little social distance family getaway down to Dale Hollow Lake with David's family. They go, honestly they go all the time, but we usually only go with them once a year. So we had a little cabin and just spent some time out on the water. We did also go to North Carolina twice this year. My aunt has a house down there, and my cousin and his fiance moved in this year with COVID. They moved out of New York and down in North Carolina, so we got to go visit them twice, and it was just fun to like get out of the house and like be somewhere else that we knew was safe. We just drove down there and stayed with them. One time I got to bring some of our friends from up here, and we got to bring Finn every time, and it was just fun to like go down there and hike and just relax, you know. Before we did sell our old house, I did learn how to completely like open and take care and maintain our swimming pool all by myself. Like I was like, I feel like going back through my 1 second a day video like this year, the two like it's not true, but like it looks like it's true that the two biggest loves of my life are Finn and that swimming pool, just because David was always working and sitting in front of his computer. And so when I was like doing my 1 second a day, it would typically be like in the middle of the day with whatever I was doing that day, and a lot of it like revolved around the chemicals of the swimming pool and like just being around the pool. So like I do miss the pool. I don't want one again right now, but like I loved that pool, and I think it really showed with my like year review. So I did learn how to do that all by myself. I was so proud of myself because I thought that would be something I was like, I'll never be able to learn that. That's crazy. But I also learned a lot with remodeling. First, actually, let's just take a break because I learned a lot this year. Not only with the pool and not only with remodeling, but I did all like the, I don't want to say paperwork. I paid a lawyer to draw us up a contract for the house, but I did all of like the putting everything together and getting everything in order for selling our house. And there's like a lot to do. Like I understand why people like pay real estate agents, because it's a ton of work to just like sell your house and prep it and everything. And I like learned how to do all that, and I'm really proud of that. And then I've done so much for like moving into our house and remodeling it and redesigning it, and like I just feel like I've learned so much with like little tips and like stuff I never would have known how to do before. Like as simple as like patching a wall up to like changing an outlet, or taking a doorknob off a door to like refinish it, or changing a lighting fixture in the ceiling. Like those are all things that I thought would be so hard to do, and I like learned how to do them this year. Like, isn't that cool? This year was also my best year in business, even though I was shut down for a couple of months and not able to like meet with clients and take clients, and I haven't really even booked a lot of weddings for the coming years because everything with this year is so uncertain. And even with like rescheduling weddings and stuff like that, this year was still my most successful year in business yet. And like that makes me feel like, I don't know, it makes me feel good. Like I did something right and I've got something right with my business, and like I'm setting myself up for success, and like no one's ever taught me how to do any of this, and like I'm making it happen. Like it just makes me feel good, you know? Like I don't mean to brag about myself, but like no one ever acknowledges when they're doing like really well at something and they've worked so hard to get there. So like if this is counted as bragging, then like let me brag, because I deserve it. We also took a little trip out to Colorado this year. This was like a photographer's retreat, and it was like so refreshing to go. We went in November and it was like, it was amazing. I loved it. I also got to meet one of you guys out there for a session. So it's like my first destination session. I also had my first destination wedding. It was only 2 hours away, but like, you know, it's like getting out there. I hit a huge milestone of 10,000 subscribers on my YouTube channel, and like honestly nothing changes when I hit 10,000, but like it's like an accomplishment, you know? I don't have to tell people, oh, I have 9,000 subscribers on YouTube. I can be like, I have a full 10,000. So thank you guys for subscribing to my channel. It makes me so happy. Finn celebrated his first birthday back in June. We had him a little party with some balloons, so that was fun. As I said, I got 2 haircuts. The second came a couple weeks ago. Another thing that we got 2 of this year was Taylor Swift albums. Both of them were like dropped on us like no big deal, and so like it was amazing. I got to just like feel all of my feels, and I feel like she truly like came in and like saved 2020 and like gave us so much hope. And like I'm obsessed. Folklore and Evermore were just like incredible, and the fact that they were like both made in quarantine and sister albums, and like I could go on and on, but like I know you guys probably don't care. And even though we didn't get to see a ton of family this year, like I feel like David and I have gotten so much closer. Our relationship is so much better. We communicate better. We like have something that works for us, and I feel like we were struggling like getting that balance before, and I feel like now that we've spent so much time together and like being at home together, we have like something that works. And we also have gotten closer with Finn. I feel like he's gonna have separation anxiety when like everything opens back up and we're like traveling and not here all the time again, but he's like truly the best of a guy. Like he can't even sit somewhere else, he just wants to sit on my lap always. I love you. Thank you. He's truly the best. But yeah, so like there were bad things this year. Like living through our first global pandemic, a lot of my family members got COVID and still have COVID currently. David's car was stolen right out of our driveway. My business was closed. David's working from home still in December. So like there were a lot of things you could look at as negative, but I feel like overall this year was pretty good. I also turned 24, so that's exciting. I'm gonna turn 25 next. That's how that works. But that is pretty much it for this video. We still have a couple more days left of the year. Today is December 14th, I believe. Hopefully we're done with big things, big good things and big bad things. I just want the rest of the year to just level out, you know? But yeah, we're about to celebrate our first wedding anniversary for being legally married. We've already had our first elopement anniversary. Overall, it was a good year. I'm proud of us, and I like all of our accomplishments. So that is pretty much it for today's video. I hope that you guys enjoyed it. Thank you for sticking with me throughout this year. I have a lot of footage from what I talked about, so I guess that means that I took you guys along for the ride for most of it. So I appreciate you guys being there with me and supporting me and just watching my channel. You don't realize how much that means to me, not just because I get like a very little income from YouTube, but because like I feel like I have friends and people to talk to, especially like being stuck in my house. Like, it means a lot to me, so thank you. But if you aren't already subscribed to my channel, please subscribe to my channel. I have lots of fun things coming out in January, including all of our Colorado vlogging videos, because I know I've been talking about those for months, but I have like a schedule I'm going down for trying to get stuff in order. So yeah, but thank you guys so much for watching today's video. I hope you have the happiest holiday season with, well, I would say with your family, but if you're quarantining and not seeing anyone like we are this year, I hope you have the best one for you. And FaceTime everyone, tell them you love them, and all of that. Document it in your own special way, you know? But yeah, I will see you guys next time. Bye!